kind of feel like I have a Kacey inspired shirt on. It has a bell sleeve, if you can tell. It's very cute. I'm very much obsessed with it. But yeah. Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I'm chilling here having a mild existential crisis because I have been reading way too deep into the lyrics to Slow Burn by Kacey Musgraves. I love the Golden Hour album. It came out in 2018, I believe, but it's still relevant because it's just a very nice, ethereal, magical, yet grounded album. I want to make a few statements before because I want you to think about it while I'm going through the lyrics, and then I'll do a wrap up where it makes more sense at the end. So just bear with me for a sec. I just need to get these thoughts out into the universe. Slow burn. Slow burn is a very self-identifying piece. Okay, Kacey is letting us know who she is as a human being, and she's not sugarcoating anything. She's aware of who she is as a person, and this is actually very inspirational to me because I find that lots of times we either shut our own selves off from recognizing who we are, or we just take other people's definitions of us and we allow that to define us. However, in this song, Kacey, there's irony used in this song, and there's very blatant statements that she makes about who she is as a person. I wonder if she's an Aries. She's speaking her mind like very like directly. I'll look it up later. I will keep you posted. But she very much knows who she is and she allows it. And that's very important. Another thing I want to touch upon is the concept of a slow burn in this song is letting your life unfold as it does, not to rush things, okay? I think that's such an important thing to keep in mind throughout life because, okay, this is me personally, this is my personal philosophy, and I view time as a living entity. It's like personified. Just like a tree is alive, just like a flower is alive, I view time as a living thing. I conceptualize it in this manner because it helps me not stress out and hustle too much. If we were to personify time, whenever we're rushing or we're like, this has to happen faster, go, 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 go. Not only are you anxious, but you're making time anxious. So instead of saying time, let's say like your pet, like your dog. You don't want to stress your dog out because it's going to be in distress and it's not going to want to hang out with you. I find that if I think about time in this manner, it helps me slow down to a natural pace. When you think about nature, I'm going to get all walled in on you guys for a second, but I think nature has a lot to teach us. When you're living your life, we tend to ignore the beauty that surrounds us in the context of nature. Like trees, the sun, flowers, clouds, they're there, they're existing, they're growing, they're thriving, they're beautiful, but we don't really recognize them all the time. But when you stand there and you think about it, they're doing things on their own time. A flower is not blooming faster. Butterflies aren't undergoing metamorphosis faster. Things take time. And I'm not saying to wait around and not do anything. You're supposed to do things in the direction towards your goal. But there's a difference between doing things in an appropriate way and then rushing things. Doing things before you're ready and not allowing for things to happen at the time they're supposed to happen for you while you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's what this song makes me think of. I have a quote I need to tell you guys before I get into this. This is a quote that I taped into my bullet journal because I'm just the type of person that has a bullet journal, and to embarrass myself even further, not that having a bullet journal is embarrassing, but what I'm going to show you, it's that thing on TikTok where they're like, I don't know, whatever, TikTok. I was drinking tea, and on the tea bag, it had like a very philosophical, existential quote, and I very much identified with it, and I taped it in here with washi tape, and I'm going to show you. That's the quote. Let me read it to you. Hold on. I need to get into my like dramatic. I'm not going to be hyperbolic when I read this because this actually is very important. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The more I let that sink in and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm a human being. I'm part of nature. Why are we so into hustling and burning out? We shouldn't be burning out. We should adopt the philosophy of a slow burn. And then this quote is by Lao Tzu. I apologize, I know I'm mispronouncing it. It's Lao space TZU. And I'm going to show you really quick the page before this in my bullet journal, because this is the type of person I am. And I have the lyrics to Slow Burn by Kacey Musgraves that I wrote out because I connect to it in such an intense manner. And yeah, I really connect with the lyrics of the song and with the thematic elements. I just think the song has a lot of substance, and you know, this is my opinion, but for music, you take what you get from the songs and you apply it to your own life to help you make sense of what you're going through and to help you just understand, you know, existentially why we're here. That's why I listen to music. That's why I make videos like this. And I just find a lot of value in extrapolating a lot of thematic elements for music. So that's what I did. In this song, I'm going to look a lot at diction and connotation. I'm obsessed with connotation because when I listen to music, I literally feel the words like within my soul. So connotation is the emotion that the word elicits, and it can be different for each person. So this is very much my own personal opinion. If I'm looking down again, I have my notes on my iPad, so please don't get mad at me for that. The first verse, born in a hurry, always late, haven't been early since '88. What an awesome way to not only open a song, but to open an album. This is very much a self-identifying piece. And this is very funny. It is ironic. There was a period in my life when all I did was watch Kacey Musgraves interviews, as one does. And in an interview, she mentioned that this particular line or phrase, born in a hurry, refers to the fact that her mom went into labor with her during her baby shower. So she was born early. And this is really funny because that's the only time in the entirety of her life that she's been early, according to her, when she was just born early. After that, she was late the entire time. Haven't been early since '88. That's funny. That's such a smart way to state that. It's very witty and it's very ironic. Again, this is who she is. She is telling us, I'm always late. The only time in my life I was early was when I was born early. That's a hyperbolic statement. It's kind of exaggerated. It could be very much true, but the point is, this is how much she's letting us see like a potential flaw in her. She's not sugarcoating it. And you know, some characteristics really define people, and some people exist in contradictions, but in a sweet way. Let me elaborate. So I feel like we define people based on very random things that we shouldn't define them on. So I'll give you an example. In like middle school, we had like an orientation for school, and this girl showed up wearing like a Skittles t-shirt, okay? Like a graphic tee with Skittles. This was like the mid 2000s. Okay, that was the vibe. And for like 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of school, people just called her Skittles. Like, why would you do that? But do you see what I mean? People define other people based on very random things that have no meaning and no value. And in these first 2 lines, she's defining it for herself. And the fact that she is telling us that she's always late, she's taking ownership of what some people may perceive to be a flaw. It's kind of like what Taylor Swift did with the snake imagery. She made merch out of it and she put it in her song. When you own yourself, when you own the 360 existence of yourself, you have power. Do you know what I mean? People can't, I mean, of course, constructive criticism is very important, but people can't like beat you down with it. They can tell you things and you're like, okay, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. But when you allow yourself to know who you are, there's a lot of power in it. And she's telling us who she is in a very funny, witty way that I really, really appreciate. I love this lyric so much. To go back on what I mentioned earlier, that some people exist in contradictions, this reminds me of quirky, cool people. Maybe someone who is always like very, very like intellectual and very smart. No matter what they do, they always spell a word wrong. It's like, it's contradicting because they're so intelligent, but they just spell that one word wrong all the time. It just humanizes someone and it's very cute. I don't know, maybe that's just something that I think about when I hear this lyric, but people are complex, and the fact that she's stating this in this way makes me view her as a person with depth, because I'm like, oh, she's saying this in an ironic manner. You know, this is interesting. I want to know more about her. Texas is hot. I can be cold. Grandma cried when I pierced my nose. Good in a glass, good on green, good when you're putting your hands all over me. Her, not me. No. Again, we have some irony here. We have a lot of things that are opposite being placed next to one another. This is the concept of juxtaposition, which is placing things by one another, like spatially or physically, for the purpose of comparison. And in my opinion, the phrase Texas is hot, I can be cold, it juxtaposes those two temperatures or vibes. And it's ironic. Again, she's self-aware. She, is saying that she's from Texas. I'm assuming that's where she grew up. Texas is hot. The weather is hot, but I'm cold. She recognizes that she's cold. That's not necessarily a positive characteristic to state about yourself, but she's like, yeah, I'm cold. I know that's how I come across to people. So that's a contrast that she is allowing us to view. And this also shows that she's not being influenced by her environment. Texas is hot, but I'm cold. I'm not saying this literally, but this just means that the way she's stating this suggests that I am what I am. No outside influences are going to influence who I am as a person. And again, there's power in being able to maintain who you are in a place and not letting outside influences affect who you are. I'm not saying that the weather is going to influence who you are as a person, but I'm extrapolating here, metaphorically. That's what I'm getting from that particular lyric. When she's talking about her grandma and how she pierced her nose, again, I really appreciate that this is a very personal lyric. It makes me connect with it much more, and I really appreciate things that are like diary entries set to music. It's my favorite genre of music. But again, she's doing what she believes to be her truth. And then the last two lines here, good in a glass, so drinking, good on green. I'm assuming that's marijuana. I don't know, I'm very boring. So let me know in the comments if that's what that means. And then good when you're putting your hands all over her. And again, this is just things that she identifies with. She is telling us she likes a good drink, she likes a good hit, and she, likes being with a guy that she's interested in. And again, this is just this particular verse. She's telling us things about herself in the context of other people. So her surroundings, Texas, her family members as well. So her surroundings don't influence who she is. Her loved ones, while she loves them, she's still going to be herself. I feel like if you're not yourself for a very long time, you lose your sense of self, and then that is a very not safe position to be in, because you're no longer a human being, because you're not being. You don't exist if you're not yourself. This song makes me very existential, but when I read it, that's what I think about. So I get a lot from these lyrics, okay, obviously. I'm all right with a slow burn, taking my time, let the world churn. I'm gonna do it my way, it'll be all right. If we burn it down and it takes all night, it's a slow burn. Yeah. Sorry about the sun. It's moving because it's nature and it's doing it on its time. We're gonna accept it. This particular verse, she's stating she's okay with a slow burn, and she is saying, I'm gonna let the world churn. Things that are gonna happen on the right time, okay? And this is not complacency. This is just not rushing things out of the natural order. I'm gonna do it my way, it'll be all right. You know how sometimes when you rush something and you rush it so much and you're so stressed and it gets more messed up? That's what I feel like she's alluding to here. There are slow burn moments where you're just slow down, but just as a philosophy towards life, just let the world churn. Things are happening, things are, manifesting the way they should be. I'm doing what I need to do and I'm working, and it's just gonna happen when it's meant to happen. Timing is very, very important. When you meet someone and you become best friends. There are so many intricate things in the world and in the universe and lots of things seem random, but I feel like if you're going at the pace you're supposed to be going, where you feel calm and chill, you're gonna get more positive things come across your path. The next verse is my favorite. It has my favorite lyric in the song in it. In Tennessee, the sun's going down, but in Beijing, they're heading out to work. You know, the bar down the street don't close for an hour. We should take a walk and look at all the flowers. So the first two lines, again, there's contrast here, juxtaposition. In Tennessee, the sun's going down, and Beijing, the sun's coming up, they're going to work. So it's, again, opposites here. And this kind of suggests the fact that she's not only self-aware of herself, but also of the world in which she lives in. It's like she's slow in the present moment, but she's slow in the present moment, so she's able to realize things about her own life, but she's also so slowed down and in tune with the world that she's like, yeah, in other parts of the world, they're going to work right now. This just, to me, suggests that moving at a slow pace in life allows your mind to become open, and it allows you to not be so focused on yourself, you know, like stop having tunnel vision. There's a whole world out here. When you're busy and you're rushing, you're just like tunnel vision. Go, 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 go. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Step back, everyone. Step back. Here, I'm gonna step back. Step back, open your mind, and you won't be so wrapped up in your own thing. And I feel like when you do open your mind like that and you're more self-aware of the world and the people that exist in it, you recognize things that you can bring into your life because you're not in that tunnel anymore. Light's coming into the tunnel. Let the light in, you know, let the light in. When I did that, the light came on my hand. I think it's a sign that you should listen to that advice. Okay. The line where she says, the bar down the street don't close for an hour. We should take a walk and look at all the flowers. So when she says we should take a walk and look at all the flowers, okay, context-wise, she says the bar is going to close in an hour, so I'm assuming it's very late. She's also mentioned it's late earlier in the verse. You're not going to be able to actually literally look at flowers. It's dark, okay? However, beauty can still be appreciated, whether or not it's morning or night. The flowers here to me are not literal, they're just metaphorical. Let's just take a walk and look at all the flowers. Let's take a walk and appreciate the beauty, maybe the stars or the moon. Or let's just appreciate the beauty of the moment. Let's appreciate the intangible beauty. The beauty of me walking with you, the conversation we're having, you know, maybe the brisk air outside, the moonlight, like an inside joke we're gonna come up with while we're walking. Let's just go look at these metaphorical flowers. That's what she's saying here, and in my opinion, and I really, really love this line. We should take a walk and look at all the flowers. It's night, but, you know, existing in a slow burn mindset is a 24/7 thing. And, you know, you don't have to be so tightly wound all the time. You know what I mean? I feel like she's an Aries, because I feel like an Aries would be like, yeah, let's just like go to Paris right now or something. I need to, okay, stand by. Kacey Musgraves, zodiac sign.
Here's what I found.
That doesn't help. Kacey Musgraves' birthday in 88.
Kacey Musgraves was born August 21st, 1988.
August 21st, zodiac sign.
The answer I found is Leo.
She's a Leo. I don't really know what that means. I just know stuff about Aries because that's what I am, and we're very interesting and very fun people. Okay. She's a Leo, so this is a very informative video. I'm really glad to let you guys know that. Moving along, I have the chorus repeated. Another point I want to make about the chorus, when she says, I'm going to do it my way, it shows that she's self-aware. When she says, it'll be all right, that's a very calm statement. It'll be all right, but there's also conviction in it because she is sure that letting things happen the way that they're supposed to happen will lead to positive results. I feel like she obviously believes in fate. I would definitely make that guess based on this. She's listening to her gut as well. Listening to your intuition and your gut, if your gut tells you it's going to be all right, you know, you're going to believe it. I feel like She's definitely subscribing to the notion of fate and listening to your intuition and listening to your gut. Again, and then if you just listen to the instrumentals, it's very ethereal. So I feel like there's a lot of like existential meta vibes going on, which I'm super down with. Whatever feels good. Again, intuition, following. Sometimes, you know, when you have a gut feeling or like an intuitive feeling, you just feel it, like emotionally, sometimes even physiologically, but it's not like, it's emotional first and then it goes up to your head. You're like, yes, I know this with certainty and with conviction. That's what I believe she's describing here. She's saying it'll be all right. Whatever feels good. It's kind of like those days that flow well. Okay. It's like those days when you go out and you have like a spontaneous day and everything just fits together because you're just listening to what you're supposed to do. So, for example, you're just going out with your friends. You don't know what you're gonna do. You just know you're gonna go to like the boardwalk by the beach. And one thing leads to another. You find this random like ice cream stand that just opened and it's the best ice cream ever. And then while you're eating your ice cream, you see a bookstore that just opened. You're like, oh my God, let's go in that bookstore. And you end up walking around that bookstore for like an hour and you find this one book that you've been meaning to read for like 5 years, and then you buy that book. And while you're there buying that book, you see your old friend that you haven't seen in years and you have like a reunion. And then while you're there, you randomly are sitting there and you look up and there's like a restaurant there that's always been there but you've never noticed, and you go and you have the best meal of your life. And you do all of those things because it feels good. You know, positivity breeds positivity. Whatever feels good. It's one of those days where you just kind of go with the flow and you go with what you feel. And you're like, I'm just going to do what feels good. And that leads to another thing and another thing and another thing. And, you know, there's a lot to be said about thinking logically, but I think there's a lot to be said about not being emotional, but listening to your intuition, because your gut is always telling you some things, but a lot of times we silence it and we don't listen. But if we operate in the mentality of a slow burn, there's more of an opportunity to listen to what our soul is telling us feels good and what feels right. And notice I say soul and not heart, because I feel like a soul is more deeply rooted in your being. This is getting very meta, but this is how I'm taking this song. So if you disagree completely, please let me know in the comments below. There's no like right or wrong way to interpret this at all. I'm just simply stating my opinion based on the context and like the connotation of the words. Let's just move on. This is getting too deep. Old soul, waiting my turn. I know a few things, but I still got a lot to learn. So I'm all right with a slow burn. I'm all right with a slow burn. Again, she's an old soul, which implies wisdom. There's wisdom in operating with a slow burn mentality and not rushing things and allowing things to happen when they're meant to happen for you. Waiting my turn. Have you ever seen those people in line at a retail department store and they're just very angry? They're probably just not having a good day and they want to rush. They're not waiting their turn, but they're so stressed and they're so anxious that it causes more things to go wrong, and it takes longer than it would have if they would have just waited their turn. Old soul, waiting my turn. There is wisdom in allowing things to happen when the timing is appropriate. Okay? Again, it doesn't mean you're complacent and you're not working towards your goals. You are, but you have silent conviction that they will happen when they're meant to happen for you. If it feels right and it feels good and you're doing what you need to do and you're open, you don't have tunnel vision, you're open to other things, you're aware of them, and you're going to see opportunities and open doors for you. Okay? That's what I get from this song, Slow Burn. She is letting us know who she is. She kind of has understood that in life, I have to know who I am as a person, and I have to allow myself to exist as I am. Another thing that, before I forget, this is very important. Like I said earlier, there was a time in my life where I just watched Kacey Musgraves interviews because I think she's such an interesting person. There's an interview she did in 2018 with Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon interviewed her, and there's a quote from that the second I heard her say this, I literally, I wrote it in the drafts in my emails. I'm going to show you. This is my email drafts. Okay, I wrote it there because I didn't have paper. Just had my phone. This is a quote from Kacey Musgraves. I'm gonna go ahead and link that interview below if you want to listen to it. There's so much, like, literally snaps. It's like a spoken word poem for me. Okay, this is what Kacey said in the interview. If you are yourself from day one, in whatever industry you're in, if you're just completely yourself, there's this nice freedom that happens. You never have to answer to anyone else's expectations of what you are because you already were you. I feel like she's really wise. I feel like there's a lot of depth with Kacey. This is exactly what I said. If you are aware of who you are and you allow yourself to be that, you don't have to lie. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. And you're not gonna get fake friends or fake fans or anything like that. She goes on to mention that, you know, there's total freedom in that, and she would rather have less fans that really know what she's about as opposed to a lot of people that have a watered down take of who she is. Because she has to stay in a box if she does that. If you're in a slow burn mentality and you allow yourself, you realize who you are and you allow it, you let people see the real you. Texas is hot, but I'm cold. I'm cold, I come off cold, I'm always late. That's who I am, okay? I might improve it one day, I may not. That's who I am in this moment. I'm not gonna hide it, I'm not gonna lie about it. Right now, this is what it is with me. If you wanna be here, you can. If that's a deal breaker for you, that's it. But she's not gonna lie about who she is. And I think there's a lot of value in that, and it's very important to subscribe to that notion, in my opinion. It's like maybe in an example of dating. If you like a guy or a girl, if you have a crush on someone, crush on another human being. It's like that episode of Lizzie McGuire. Lizzie McGuire is a very existential show. Did you not know? Where, I don't know if it was for Ethan. I think it was for Ethan. Like, Ethan Kraft really liked golf or whatever, and then Lizzie McGuire, Hilary Duff, was putting on like a golf outfit to like appease his interests, and then he was like, oh my god, you like golf? And she's like, oh my god, I do, but she didn't. And pretty much she got attention from Ethan Kraft. I love Lizzie McGuire. However, she had to lie the whole time. So there's more value in being yourself and another person seeing that and liking you for you. Okay, so to sum up, if you're in a slow burn mentality like this song suggests, you recognize who you are, you allow it, you don't have tunnel vision, you allow light to come into your life and into your perspective, you're aware of the world around you, and you recognize that things will happen on their own time as long as you're doing what you need to do, and you allow yourself to listen to your intuition and your gut. Okay, that's all I have for this song. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down below what you think of this, if you have any other ideas about this song, or if this song meant something completely opposite to you. Let me know below. There's not a right or wrong answer to interpreting lyrics. And yeah, just let me know if you have any other songs you want me to take a deeper dive into. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very great rest of your day. Bye. Go watch some Lizzie McGuire. There's some great stuff in there. Bye.